Development Office. He's going to come up and explain a little bit of the Honda strategy moving forward. I could summarize also what Steve's going to say. We're very dedicated to this product. As you know, this car is being sold in California, but not everybody in this room is from California, so we're treating this vehicle like a national launch. Up next, batting second, will be Mr. Shimizu. Shimizu is the chief engineer, large project leader. You'll see he spent many years of his Honda career working on this product. Batting third, Steve Ellis. He did the walk around last night. And you hear Steve? There you go, back of the room. He's our fuel cell marketing manager for this product as well. He's going to go over the nuts and bolts and some of the product planning attributes of the product. We are a few minutes late, so I'll talk faster. Second presentation is going to last for about another 50 minutes. The drive starts at 9:30. You'll see the cars out in front, obviously. We have a red car, white car, and a black car. So 4 Ford, 12 cars total. So please feel free to get in one as you would like. 12 o'clock, we're going to have lunch, and we're going to want a polo practice squad if anybody's ever experienced something like that. It's pretty cool. At the lunch around 1 o'clock, we'll have drive loops. We also have a couple Toyota Mirais if anybody would like to get behind the wheel of that car. And 3 o'clock, we'll come back to the hotel. Farewell dinners tonight. I don't know if you noticed where the valet was. There's a lily pond. You're looking at the hotels on the left, up on a stage, I guess. So that's where our dinner's going to be at 6:30. Drive loops. We are, I'm going to read this chart left to right. So we are where that green box is at the Belmont. You will drive basically east along the shore. Really great scenic roads for this drive. The driver change point is at a McDonald's kind of up there on the hill. Half of you will, on this drive, is going to stop and refuel your car at a hydrogen fueling station. Okay? So when you get in your car, you'll see that. The other half will keep going. Reason being, we don't want 12 cars to be piled at the station all at one time. Driver change point at McDonald's. So now I'm going to read the chart right to left. So now we're starting at the Green Point McDonald's down to the Polo and Racket Club. When you get to the lunch, we'll have the drive loop for the Clarities and the Mirais that we brought on hand as well. Around 3 o'clock, we will depart back to the hotel. If you didn't stop and get fuel on your drive east, you will then stop and get fuel on your drive west. 3 to 5 minutes fueling, so you get to experience that firsthand. Embargo. This is basically because we have waves coming in after you guys to give everybody a fair and equal opportunity. March 20th at 12:01 Eastern for your West Coast people. That is 9 a.m. on March 19th. What is not under embargo is photography. Please take a lot of photography. Beautiful scenic backdrops here in Southern California with the hashtag Honda Club. And on that note, it's my pleasure to introduce Steve Center, our Vice President of the EBDO Office.
Thanks, James. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Actually, this is an epic car. It's the best car ever. We appreciate your time and interest in the program and your willingness to endure 2 days here in Santa Barbara, which we know is very tough duty. We're excited to have you here, and we look forward to giving you the opportunity that our customers are now experiencing behind the wheel of the Clarity Fuel Cell, which is the first in our series of 3 Clarity electrified vehicles. We started customer deliveries of the Clarity Fuel Cell on December 19 of last year in Southern California and the Bay Area. And today we have more than 80 Clarity Fuel Cells on the road, so we're off to a great start. The Honda Clarity series is the first in the industry to offer fuel cell, battery electric, and plug-in hybrid powertrains on a single vehicle platform. Clarity serves as the umbrella for our Honda electrification initiative, representing our investment in the full spectrum of electric vehicle technologies. Taking this 3-in-1 approach is not just a something for everyone idea. Based on our deep knowledge of customers interested in electrified vehicles, we're providing choices for a wider range of customers. Clarity Electric appeals to the purist who wants to entirely disconnect from petroleum. The Clarity plug-in hybrid offers an electrified drive for customers interested in alternatives, but who aren't in a position to accept any compromise to range and refueling. And then there's the Clarity fuel cell you'll experience today, for early adopters who want to be part of jump-starting a new technology for the future. Moreover, we feel the Clarity series is uniquely positioned in the market with 3 advanced environmental powertrains packaged in a spacious, premium contented, 5-passenger, mid-size sedan at a comparatively affordable price. Only Honda has the capacity to package these three technologies in this fashion, and we believe it makes for a truly unique value proposition in the marketplace. The Clarity Series is built upon our long-term vision to realize a more sustainable mobility future for all people in every corner of the world. The thinking behind this Clarity Series is based on our earnest desire to advance electrification in all of its forms, to knock down barriers to its mass market appeal on a global scale, and to make electrified vehicles a true volume pillar for Honda. It's really based on 4 fundamental ideas. First, that society's need for dramatic reductions in CO2 emissions and fossil fuel use are real and immediate. Second, that in the near to midterm, there's no silver bullet, no single technology that addresses all of the challenges of taking electrified powertrains into the mainstream. Third, that from Honda's perspective, fuel cells have the greatest long-term potential as a replacement for petroleum-fueled vehicles on a large scale in both terms of performance, by which I mean range, refueling, scalability, and overall customer utility, and in terms of energy diversity. And fourth, that in order to rapidly accelerate the deployment of electrified vehicles, we need to advance all available options, BEVs, hybrids, plug-ins, and fuel cells, and importantly, do it in a way that conforms to current norms for vehicle packaging and production. These are the fundamental concepts that underpin the Clarity Series. By packaging 3 powertrains in a conventional sedan design, engine and fuel cell in front and batteries underneath, we're attempting to provide the vehicle attributes required to achieve mass production and mass marketing of electrified vehicles, and potentially expand the application of these technologies to a larger, more diverse portfolio of products in an economically sustainable way. Each of these technologies has its challenges. For BEVs, it's cost, packaging, weight, and recharging times. You'll notice I didn't say range, because that's really a function of battery size, which comes back to cost and packaging. For fuel cells, cost and infrastructure are the biggest hurdles, and we're making significant progress on both fronts, which I'll speak to in just a few moments. Our approach to Clarity, with the Clarity BEV, needs to be considered in the context of the overall vehicle series. Based on our experience, we believe that there's a market for a larger, more premium EV at an affordable price. While pricing is yet to be announced, considering the size, performance, and premium features, you can expect it to be very competitive. And for those that need a longer range electrified option, we've got 2. The Clarity fuel cell you'll drive today, and the Clarity plug-in hybrid that launches along with the BEV later in the year. All of this is based on our earnest effort to make electrified vehicles a volume pillar in Honda's future product lineup. As you know, last year our global CEO announced our intention to have electrified vehicles, hybrids, plug-ins, BEVs, and fuel cells comprise 2/3 of Honda's global vehicle sales by 2030. It's by no means an easy target, particularly in this environment of low gas prices, but this Clarity Series is really the vanguard of that effort. From the near to the midterm, advancing toward this goal will depend heavily on sales of hybrids and plug-ins, based on cost, customer utility, and their easy integration with the existing energy grid. Last summer, we launched the refreshed Accord Hybrid with the latest generation of our 2-motor hybrid system as the most powerful and fuel-efficient mid-size hybrid sedan in America. And it has been gaining traction in the market based on increasing customer awareness, product availability, and more aggressive marketing support. We have plans to build on that. At the Detroit Auto Show in January, we announced our plans to introduce a new dedicated hybrid model in 2018 that will be built here in the U.S. And soon thereafter, you'll see us expand the use of our innovative and industry-leading 2-motor hybrid technology to the light truck side of the Honda lineup. We've also announced plans to introduce electrified versions of our core models, including those built in America. And based on this plan, we made the announcement last month of a memorandum of understanding with Hitachi for the establishment of a joint venture company that will lead to production of high-output, lightweight, and compact electric motors in the U.S. By then, of course, we'll have introduced the Clarity plug-in, which comes to the market later this year. The plug-in version will be sold nationwide and will be the volume leader in the Clarity series, offering customers more than 40 miles of all-electric driving and more than 300 miles of extended range travel using its gasoline-powered engine as a generator. Last week, we announced that all 3 cars in this series will appear together for the first time at the New York Auto Show, which will mark the global debut for the Clarity Electric and the Clarity plug-in hybrid. Today, of course, our focus is the Clarity fuel cell. And as I said earlier, we continue to view hydrogen and fuel cell powertrains as the most promising solution to the world's long-term energy and environmental concerns. With this new Clarity fuel cell, we're moving into a new phase of fuel cell vehicle deployment and mainstream appeal. That's the crux of our mission, to take this technology from what was once perceived as a science experiment and evolved into a specialty product for the most orthodox of green believers, to a broader audience and a more diverse group of buyers. From a global perspective, hydrogen offers the most diverse array of source energy alternatives. The fuel cell vehicles deliver performance, range, and refueling times virtually on a par with today's gas-powered vehicles. Of course, substantial hurdles remain, primarily cost and infrastructure. Our initiative with General Motors is geared towards advancing fuel cell technology and particularly driving down costs. In January, we announced the creation of a new joint venture fuel cell systems manufacturing program to begin in 2020 in Brownstown, Michigan. These new fuel cell systems will be utilized in distinct products from Honda and GM, and we expect to launch a Honda fuel cell vehicle with this system in 2020. In terms of infrastructure, there's still work to be done, but the real progress is meaningful. In California, we now have 66 hydrogen refueling stations that are fully funded, 26 of which are now publicly accessible, concentrating in the Los Angeles basin and in the Bay Area. Some of these stations today are operating at upwards of 80% of their capacity, as the number of fuel cell vehicles on the road continues to grow. And more fuel cell vehicles on the road is going to drive additional investment, both from public and private sources. For our Clarity fuel cell customers in these markets, refueling is no longer a significant barrier to daily use, and that's an important achievement. And last month, the California Energy Commission announced that it has selected 16 new hydrogen station projects. For our part, we're also working across the company to advance not only the vehicle technologies, but the infrastructure piece of the equation as well. In late 2015, we announced $13.8 million in support for First Element, which will be responsible for building 8 out of those new 16 stations I just mentioned. And we're looking at additional new investments going forward. Nationally, Honda is directly engaged with H2 USA, focusing on the next U.S. markets. On a global scale, we're also part of the Hydrogen Council, a global high-level advisory body providing long-term vision for hydrogen technologies. We also conducted leading research, development, and deployment of renewable energy solutions, including multiple generations of our solar-powered hydrogen station. And we're working towards ways to efficiently integrate electrified vehicles of all kinds into the existing utility grids, maximizing their value for both our customers and society as a whole. But we'll have more to say about that in the coming days. So we're not only creating a great new vehicle series, but in typical Honda fashion, looking to see how we can harness this technology to make people's lives better. The Clarity fuel cell you'll hear about and drive today is the next step in our ongoing efforts with fuel cell technology, from the first FCX models to the FCX Clarity to this next generation technology. The Clarity fuel cell advances performance, efficiency, and overall market appeal, and is taking this technology one step further towards the mainstream. We're really excited to have you here. We're prepared to answer your questions about this technology and our marketing efforts, and we look forward to hearing your first impressions of your driving experience. Now, I'd like to turn the podium over to the development leader for the Clarity, Mr. Kiyoshi Shimizu, who will tell you more about our concept for this new Honda Clarity fuel cell. Shimizu-san, come on up. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and good morning, everyone. I'm Kiyoshi Shimizu, development leader of this all-new Clarity fuel cell. It's my great pleasure to be here today to introduce my baby. So, I have been involved in FCV development for about 20 years. And in my career, I worked at our R&D center, Torrance, in California, for almost 5 years. So this experience was very important in my work as the development leader of a new global model like this Clarity fuel cell. Today, I'm going to provide you an overview of our new FCV Clarity fuel cell as an example of the application of hydrogen energy to automobiles at Honda. First, let me talk about some issues the automobile industry is facing. The industry is now tackling 3 major issues: air pollution, global warming, and energy sustainability. Honda thinks FCVs, battery electrics, and plug-in hybrids will each play a part in tackling these challenges. Especially fuel cell vehicles that run on hydrogen, which is contained in many kinds of substances. It can be produced by using various energy resources, transportable and storable. Hydrogen has great potential as an energy source. As we have explained, the electrification of automobiles is very important for the reduction of CO2 on global basis. This is Honda's approach toward the diversification of energy sources for automobiles. In our view, no one technology will solve all issues. We believe that we need to diversify technologies while accommodating the unique characteristics of each region in terms of energy portfolio and customer needs. Based on this belief, Honda has been developing technologies and products across the full range of electrified vehicle options. We started basic research on fuel cells in the late 1980s. Our first experimental vehicle was completed in 1998. We called it B0. It was kind of a mobile chemical plant. It accommodated 1.5 people. Then in 1999, we unveiled 2 types of experimental vehicles. One is using a hydrogen absorbing alloy, and another is onboard methanol reforming line. In 2000, we decided to focus on the fuel cell vehicle equipped with a high-pressure hydrogen tank and accelerated development to bring it to market. The F6 became the world's first fuel cell vehicle certified by US agencies in 2002, and the first delivered to commercial customers in the US, starting with the city of Los Angeles. We brought a model capable of being started at sub-zero temperatures to market in 2004, and began to lease the car to individual customers for the first time in 2005. Then, in 2008, we started leasing a 4-seat dedicated sedan type FCV, the F6 Clarity. After many years of experience in developing FCVs, we developed the all-new Clarity fuel cell. We think the Clarity can greatly promote our dream for a hydrogen society and the spread of FCVs. The FCX Clarity that we released to customers in the late 2000s brought us a lot of customer feedback in the US. Sedans should have 5 seats, features are lacking, and the cruising range is short. These are some of the F6 Clarity issues that our customers pointed out to me during my 4.5-year stay in the US. Such pointed words reminded me that customers have great expectations for FCVs. I had many opportunities to hear the voice of customers at the spot. As the project leader, they motivated me to develop the all-new Clarity fuel cell. Now, I'd like to give you an overview of the all-new Clarity fuel cell. First of all, regarding the concept of developing. The main pillar of the development was to enhance the universal value and the futuristic appeal of the fuel cell vehicle. For this, we need to fit a fuel cell powertrain under the hood, like the gasoline engine vehicle. This packaging of the powertrain is key to achieve a high-level universal value. Now, to review the Clarity fuel cell in more detail, it is my pleasure to introduce a key member of the marketing team, Mr. Steve Ellis.
Thank you. Thank you, Shimizu-san. It's his baby, but I've had to adopt them and bring them to full maturity over the years. So, my name is Steve Ellis, Manager of Fuel Cell Marketing at American Honda, and my history in the alternative fuel vehicle space is pretty vast. I know there's some faces in the room that I've interacted with since the launch of our natural gas car all the way back in 1998, and working with that to develop customers for adoption of all new gaseous fuel vehicles, including infrastructure. But really touched fuel cell electric vehicles when we first delivered a car to the world's first customer of a fuel cell vehicle, which was the city of Los Angeles here in 2002, in December 2002. And then since that time, wherever we've touched customers, I've had to interact with them, and in this case, our world's first customers for the FCX Clarity in 2008. And in that case, we really had to work with those customers to interface with the infrastructure network and learn from all of them every step of the way. But that first effort in 2002, working with fleet customers, gave us the confidence, both from the product standpoint and market side, to hand the keys to retail consumers for the first time. So let's talk about this popularization of fuel cell vehicles. How do we move this from a few hundred vehicles to thousands of vehicles into the future? Let's start with packaging. So from the previous F6 Clarity that had the fuel cell stack inside the driving compartment, what's been done is to embrace Honda's philosophy of man maximum, machine minimum, and move those components up under the hood and move from a single large tank design to a dual tank design, freeing up space for the interior. Basically providing everything one would expect from a sedan. So let's talk about this powertrain and what it takes to do that. So downsizing the drive unit really first required a reduction in height. That was accomplished, and that provided a 34% reduction in the powertrain height. This opened the door to putting the fuel cell stack on top. But to do this, the drive unit was actually rotated 90 degrees, freeing up space on top of it to put the fuel cell stack and stack everything together so that it would fit under the hood. So that wasn't enough though. So the previous F6 Clarity fuel cell stack was very small when it was introduced, but the new model needed to be smaller. And there's a number of ways to do that, and we'll get into the details. that's the only way then that it would fit and be packaged together on top of the drive unit to fit under the hood. So downsizing the fuel cell stack, one way to do that was to improve the fuel cell stack performance at the cell level. And this was done 50% improvement over the previous generation of fuel cell stack. So with more power output available, it could actually be made smaller, reducing the number of cells necessary in the stack by 30%. And of course, another way to do that was to actually make each individual cell thinner. But that required greater management of the humidity, the water inside the fuel cell, and that was accomplished, and hence now each individual fuel cell is 20% thinner. And in the F6 Clarity, the fuel cell stack itself was vertical, or we call it V-flow, leveraging gravity to rid itself of the water and the humidity inside the fuel cell stack. That also had other issues with power stability. Now with it laid horizontal, it required greater control, greater management of that humidity and the water inside. That was accomplished, and also had an added benefit of providing greater stability of the power output from the fuel cell stack itself. So in summary, from a stack development standpoint, you can see this development table here with these metrics. We ended up with a 33% smaller fuel cell stack from the previous generation, which was already very small, with a 60% increase in power density from the fuel cell stack, leading to a world-leading 3.1 kilowatts per liter power output from the fuel cell stack. Now, by moving it to the front of the vehicle, additional work had to be done, and that has to do with impact resistance and improved G-force. So a stack holding bar was incorporated inside the fuel cell stack, improving the impact resistance 4 times compared to the previous generation fuel cell. So all of these efforts have really paid great dividends. So now you can see the pieces all come together. So by improving the power drive unit, rotating that forward, fitting the fuel cell stack inside, reducing the size of the fuel cell, all of this can be packaged together in a single powertrain assembly to fit under the hood, hence providing that great value of increasing the interior space. 2 other pieces here to mention is the fuel cell boost converter, which uses a new silicon carbide type power control module, and the electric turbocharger air compressor. So for any of you that have driven other fuel cell vehicles, especially our previous FCX Clarity, where it had kind of a whining sound under acceleration, that was a Roots type blower compressor. This is a silent turbo, electric turbo compressor, and I think when you drive the car, you're going to see that, like any other electric vehicle, it's a virtual silent acceleration that comes from the vehicle. All of this has come together. These improvements have come together to make a great experience for the driver. So now when we talk about this new compact powertrain, here's the great thing. When you compare this to the V6 powertrain such as used today in a Honda Accord 3.5 liter, the entire powertrain is actually slightly smaller in height, depth, and width than that vehicle. So this opens the door now for the first time to apply this fuel cell powertrain technology into other vehicles that are designed and engineered for a V6 powertrain. So this is a world's first. So really what we end up with is a no compromise package, interior space design, now with the fuel cell packaged under the hood, by moving from a single large fuel tank to dual smaller tanks, increasing not only interior passenger capacity, but also cargo space. This is the highest cargo space of any fuel cell sedan. And when you look at the dimensions, length, width, height, virtually the same as a Honda Accord. Low, wide design with great aerodynamics. So let's talk about the hydrogen tanks themselves. The pressure was increased from 35 MPa to the industry standard of 70 MPa. The tank volume is actually smaller, but with a 2-tank design, again, utilizing better space. And the fuel storage has been increased by 39% leading to a 52% increase in vehicle range. So let's talk about design again. We want to have an appealing vehicle for popularization and moving it to a new level. So the design concept is to have a bold and aerodynamic design of the vehicle with enhanced streamlining. Now, you may have heard of air curtains before. This has front air curtains. I pointed it out yesterday in a little walk around. And it's the world's first application of rear air curtains inside, built into the rear doors. And again, with the rear tire, slight cover over the rear tire, all this adds to aerodynamic efficiency and improved vehicle range and fuel economy. The interior design concept is to have an advanced modern lounge, and you can see it's very elegant and designed, very easy to use, very intuitive controls. Let's talk about those for a little bit. So the interior materials are very nice. Over 80% of the interior surface is covered with enhanced environmental materials such as ultra suede and prime smooth with the leather seats. And not only is it a clean car for the environment, it's also a clean car for passengers, taking advantage of high-performance deodorizing filters, plasma cluster ion technology, and other materials to enhance the experience inside the vehicle. The meters and graphic are very intuitive. You can see this when you drive the car with a very intuitive fuel gauge on the right. You have your battery state of charge meter on the left. For your power output meter, looks like what you would be accustomed to with a tachometer, but a electricity generation monitor, this blue ball in the middle that helps guide you and kind of coach you based on your power output and throttle application to maximize the vehicle fuel economy and your range. And with the digital graphic meters, you have the head-up display providing a lot of different information that's pushed right in front of your eyes there for you to see, including the navigation, turn-by-turn directions, and of course a high-definition 8-inch wide display that's very easy to integrate with. Of that, you've become, I think, accustomed to these with some of the other Hondas. The menus are very deep. It includes also, under navigation, the embedded mapping of the hydrogen stations, but also operates with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But to enhance this connectivity, we've also built an app for smartphones. Things you might expect, like being able to precondition the vehicle, air conditioning or heat right from your desk before you get to your car, and check the status of that is on the smartphone. But beyond that, when you first open it, it shows the vehicle range remaining, it shows the fuel in the vehicle with the fuel gauge, and if you touch the part where it says Find Hydrogen Station, it shows a circle with all of the stations that are within the vehicle's range, and if you tap that icon of a station you might want to go to, it brings up additional information and allows you to map to that. Not only map to it from the embedded native mapping in your smartphone, but then push this up to the navigation system for turn-by-turn directions to the station. So this is an important part of kind of living with a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. And we've challenged our dealerships to enroll 100% of the customers with this smartphone app, which would be a whole new level of integrating the interface between the app, smartphone, and a customer's car. Now let's talk about performance. Again, we want to make a very appealing car. I won't say fun to drive, but maybe epic to drive. And you'll find that today. So the performance concept really is to have an exhilarating driving feel, powerful and very quiet with linear acceleration. And let's talk about some of those things. And again, you'll be the judge when you drive the car. But the power output from the electric drive motor is up by 30%. The torque is up 17%. And again, many of you know with electric drive, it's very smooth, linear driving feel. Let's touch on that for a second. So where internal combustion has kind of a torque and power peak curve to it and transmission shifting, this is a single drive and single-speed powertrain. And what you end up with is a very linear acceleration feel. So when you're accelerating, it just feels very smooth and just continues to pull in a very linear manner. And I think you'll find that the correlation between your throttle application and the power that you ask for is very linear also. And it has both a normal and a sport mode, and we encourage you to try both, especially on the windy roads, because in sport mode, you'll find that it's a little more responsive to the throttle, and you'll also experience greater deceleration G-force, hence it's actually using more of the regenerative decel and braking to put energy back into the battery. And of course, all of that enhances the vehicle's efficiency and fuel economy. And with a low center of gravity, it's a very flat turning feel to the vehicle, and you can see, although this is fun to drive, you can see where it slots in compared to other premium sedans and other hybrid vehicles with McPherson strut front suspension and multi-link rear suspension with cast aluminum arms. So what we get here is the longest range zero emission vehicle EPA certified in the United States with 366 mile driving range, and the value of a hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle is 3 to 5 minute refueling. EPA certification, this ended up with 69 mile per gallon equivalent in the city, 67 in the highway, for an average of 68 mile per gallon equivalent. So from the body standpoint, these new straight frame benefits the cabin space and driving dynamics, and for lightweight. So you can see here the fuel cell powertrain, the lithium-ion battery, and the fuel storage tanks are all contained within the frame rails. These things are done for safety. This is also the first application of high formability 980 MPa class high-strength steel, and you can see how it's applied throughout the vehicle over approximately 40% of the body frame. And this really shows application of that plus other materials for lightweight and for strength and safety. Here, a mix of aluminum and other steels. And this is simply showing the difference in these materials between the Clarity fuel cell and what would be conventional vehicles. And this is in your packet of materials. You can study it further. And of course, the values of an electric drive vehicle include quietness, and leveraging that quietness. Extra effort was put into making this a very quiet interior with additional insulation materials, acoustic glass, wheelhouse insulation, and other sound absorption materials. You'll recognize that immediately. Taking advantage of Honda's omnidirectional crash test facility, again, extra effort was put into ensuring safety of the Clarity fuel cell with front overlap, side impact, and rear impact. And so this really is a great effort to leverage Honda's great work towards safety. And of course, with hydrogen, you design for safety. So Honda took a 3-step approach to safety with hydrogen. First of all, prevent leakage. Second would be, if there was, make sure that you detect it and you can stop it. And then what to do with it, which is to ventilate that after the fact. So in this case, there's hydrogen sensors on board the vehicle, both in the powertrain area and near the hydrogen tanks. And of course, it comes equipped with Honda's driver system technologies, Honda Sensing, which many of you are becoming very familiar with, and it's very highly recognized and appreciated in the market. Let's talk about the market introduction now. So bringing this to the public, bringing this to the people is important. We began deliveries in December, as was mentioned earlier, and lease price details will cover a little bit more. But by the end of this month, we'll have about 100 vehicles on the road, and each of our dealerships has like 100 people waiting in line to get these vehicles. So the market has responded very well. The market demand is outstanding for this vehicle. And of course, deliveries will continue to be planned throughout 2016. So when it comes to bringing it to the customers, we took everything we learned from these previous customers, and we even leveraged working with them to find out what we might need to do to bring it to a greater masses. So From here, learning about training the customer to refuel a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, with station openings that we participated in with the governor and other advocates in the industry. We all work together to learn valuable lessons and then bring these lessons to a whole new group of people. I was individually interfacing with these individual customers from the previous card, but now I have to spread that knowledge to a greater, broader team within American Honda and a larger team of dealerships to make this happen. So training their dealership personnel, and those dealers were then able to interface with customers in a whole new way with a vehicle that they've never interfaced with before. So what we did is we cast a wide net in Southern and Northern California, in the markets where the hydrogen stations exist, and invited people to come to events. At those events, they could learn about the technology, they could ask a lot of questions, get good answers, but most of all, drive the car and really feel it and experience how it was. From there, these people were very excited, and they would sign up and say, I want to get this car. Those leads would then pass on to our dealerships, so they could then follow up with the customers. And that's what's led to this list of customers that each dealership has. And of course, they feature things like interior space, room for 5, comfortable back seat, and even a little cell phone pocket in the back of the seats, which people come to appreciate. So all these things came together and made it a very appealing vehicle from the marketing side. And then many of you have probably seen, we've taken this out to a broader public awareness campaign with advertising like this, also not only on television, but in social media. And this campaign, Always Thinking About Tomorrow, has really generated a lot of buzz, and people are really excited to learn that hydrogen can be a new fuel for tomorrow's technologies. Of course, station network, Steve touched on that. He summarized the number of stations. But in this case, we just want you to know that we have a dealer network with great proximity to the hydrogen station network in both Southern California and Northern California. So 6 dealers in Southern California, 5 in the Bay Area, and 1 in Sacramento, really covering a broad base of consumers throughout the state. So the pricing and feature details you can see here, $369 a month lease, 20,000 miles per year in that lease, because it is an HOV capable vehicle, and those customers tend to put more miles on their car per year. So we wanted to respect that. $15,000 worth of fuel allowance over the lease period of 3 years, 21-day luxury car rental, and of course the state of California provides a $5,000 rebate. So you can see it's a very feature-rich car with a great lease package, really breaking down the barrier to acceptance of the vehicle. We need to really push these out there. There's synergy between the volume of vehicles and building a network of stations, and this is now taking off in a whole new level. And of course, it's available in 3 colors, 2 interior colors, and all of these colors are here for you to take a look at today. So in summary, it's really, I would like to say that not only is this the ultimate clean car that emits only water, but this is something that many people, including myself, have been working on for many years, and that's why I wanted to start a little bit with that background, is that this is the beginning of a new day with bringing hydrogen and fuel cell vehicles to the public. That first FCX was like tens of cars, then it was 100 of those FCX30s. This is thousands, and then from here we can take this and repeat this in other states across the nation. So thank you very much for your time. We'll be available for any questions that you have. And I'd like to bring James back up to finish. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Steve. So that pretty much wraps it up. I guess what you're seeing today is stuff only really Honda could do, right? We build jets, we have generators, we have lawnmowers, we have cars that emit water, right? Yes, sir.
Well, bunches of questions
Yep.
about this. So, number one, why can't you buy the vehicle? Why do you have to lease it?
Yep.
We did that before with the little,
Yep.
the little EV. So that's first. And then second, why would you bring out a hybrid that's practically identical to the existing Accord hybrid?
Yeah.
Is that gonna hurt those sales? Just, those are
Yep.
just two for
Yeah,
starters.
let's talk about it at the lunch spot, sound good?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Reason being is because we have cars piling up right now at the valet line. So, embargo again, driving impressions only, but feel free to take as many pictures as you'd like. And then Frank, come see myself and or, we have plenty of team members here as well to answer anybody's questions.